Hey everyone, I just wanted to take a quick break from our normal travel videos and share something that happened recently this last week. I went on a spontaneous trip with my family to one of my favorite hometowns growing up. Well, if you haven't guessed where I'm at yet, I'm in Branson. Yes, Branson, Missouri. I grew up, well, not technically in Branson, but a little small town right outside there. I love the area. It was amazing. And one of the things that's so cool about it is it's such a touristy town, but still has that small town feeling. As you can see, the main strip through Branson has a lot to offer. It's got so many different shows, so many different games and arcades and activities and fun family things you can do. And a lot of the buildings itself just stand out and scream at you almost because they're very bizarre looking. And now I haven't been back there in probably 10 years. So it was a nice fun retreat to get away. And unfortunately Ethan couldn't go with us this time. So it was just me and the kids, my parents, and my sister and her 4 kids. So it was actually a little bit hectic because of so many little kids and how cramped we were in the car. But overall it was a great trip. And I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you guys here today. So for starters, for those of you who don't know what Branson is, it's kind of the heart of the Midwest, the crown jewel, if you will, as it is the #1 vacation spot in the entire Midwest. And I must say it's one of the top vacation destination points in the entire USA. It has so much to offer in this one little town. And when I say little town, there's only about 10,000 residents that actually live there. But because it's a tourist town, it sees about 10 million people pass through there every year. So it's always very busy, but only during tourist season, which is why as a local, you get so many discounts when it's off season. And so you get to see a lot of shows without it being too expensive or without it being too busy. And same with all the amusement parks as well. And we'll get more into that in a little bit. So first off, going there was kind of a hassle just because it was a very cramped car and it's about 3 hours drive or so from where I live now, but it was still fun. The kids did great. We had things to keep them occupied for the 3-hour drive. And since we were only there like less than a week, like I think what, 4 days, we packed those 4 days with a lot of fun activities to do. First off, we took the kids to a wildlife place called Wild World and the kids loved it. It had all these different exhibits of the animals and most of it was inside, so thankfully it didn't get too hot. And it was a little tight with the strollers and all the kids and the whole family just going through this whole building, but they loved it so much. We saw a bunch of aquatic creatures. I got to feed a stingray. It was so fun. I'm gonna feed a stingray. Oh, they're soft.
Yeah, it's really
squishy noses.
Yeah, I know. It feels like I don't know how to explain it.
You got my knuckles.
Oh, looking so happy.
All right, here comes another one.
Okay.
My son got to feed a shark. Of course, it was on the end of a stick, so it wasn't like threatening at all, and my dad ended up helping him most of the time, but that was still really cool as well. And then one of the funniest things that happened while we were there is they had these 2 giant tortoises, and we walk outside to where their habitat is, and they're in the corner doing their business with each other, and it was a little awkward, mainly because I had no idea about this, but male tortoises, they make a bit of a ruckus. They were like literally making grunting and sex noises, honestly. It was so funny. And then right after he finished, I went back and I got another video. He went straight through the food dish, so I guess some things don't change no matter the species. So pretty much the whole trip was kind of about the kids and letting them have a fun time, and it was really nostalgic for me going back to my hometown and being able to do all these things that I did as a kid and letting my kids do it. But however, they are a bit on the younger side, so I don't think they enjoyed it as much as I would have liked, but they still had a great time. And that brings me to the second thing we did was we went boating on Table Rock Lake, which is the biggest lake, or at least the most touristy lake, right there in the Branson area. Now, I don't want you to get it confused with Lake of the Ozark, because even though Branson is in the Ozarks and the whole Ozark area is that area, and it stretches down into Arkansas as well, Lake of the Ozarks is actually way up in mid-Missouri, like 120 miles away from Branson. Either way, we went on Table Rock Lake, and we went boating, and we went swimming, and the kids really liked it. I had a lot of fun. I did get sunburnt, although this is a burn from something else, and I'm not normally this red. I think it's just the weird lighting in here. But Table Rock Lake is really fun, and it ended up being a great day for it because it wasn't too hot and it wasn't too cold, so the lake felt amazing, and it was just a fun experience all around for the whole family. Now the next thing we did, which is probably the crown jewel of Branson, Silver Dollar City. So even if you haven't heard of Branson, you may have heard of Silver Dollar City because it has made such a reputation throughout the Midwest and the entire country and apparently worldwide, because I think some of you actually know what I'm talking about when I say Silver Dollar City. But Silver Dollar City is an amusement park. I believe it started in 1960 and its main theme is 1880s and Old West kind of style. So everything is like really old-fashioned. All of the helpers wear skirts and bonnets half the time, and they have all these different areas where craftsmen can show off their skills of old-timey welding or old-timey glass blowing, and unfortunately I didn't get to see those. The scheduling for it always didn't work. Plus we made the whole trip, like I said, about the kids. So I love Silver Dollar City and I love going back there, but I will recommend going with kids that are a bit older, because when several of them are too young to ride any rides, it's not fun. And the kids were tired and exhausted and it was hot, and thankfully the park is actually great because most of it is under trees or hidden like underneath the tree shade. Either way, it was a bit of a stressful time, and I only got to ride like 3 rides altogether, or at least big rides. I rode a lot of kiddie rides and that was okay because it was fun for the kids and whatever. But I am very thankful I did get to ride one of the newest rides, the Time Traveler. This was all line at one point. That's insane. There's like nobody here, it looks like. Like 3 levels of lines. I would not want to come here when it's busy. I haven't been back to Branson in probably 10 years, and I probably haven't been to Silver Dollar City in at least that many years as well. So there was quite a few new things, but that was the only new ride that I recognized that I made sure I rode. And boy, I wish I had a GoPro on me, because my reaction to riding that ride was very unexpected. I thought it was going to be no big deal. I love roller coasters. I'm not really scared of them, but that one terrified me for just a tiny bit. First off, I get in line and I thought I was in the front, and I love riding in the front because you get to see all this stuff and it's really cool. But when the cart actually pulled up, I realized it was the very back, and each one is in an individual spinning thing, so it doesn't really matter where you sit because it's going to end up spinning around at some point along the track. And that's exactly what happened. So when we first took off and went down that first hill and it started to spin, I think I cussed up a storm, and I don't normally cuss that much. And so it was quite the experience, and I'll be sure if we ever do a video based on amusement park, we will get better footage of that, because you guys missed out on some interesting reactions from me. The other ride I got to go on was Outlaw Run. Now I think I had been on that before, like 10 years ago, and it was new then. But it's unique because it's a wooden roller coaster. It's one of the fastest in the world, and it was the very first wooden roller coaster to actually make loops and go upside down. So that kind of has its own fame that goes along with it. It's a very interesting one to go on, and it definitely keeps with the whole old-timey feel that all of Silver Dollar City incorporates. So one more cool aspect to Silver Dollar City is the oldest ride there is technically not a ride, it's just the train. And it loops the whole park so you can kind of see some of the rides, and it kind of goes into the woods a bit. But it's a really fun, outdoorsy kind of old-fashioned train. And if you're lucky, you might encounter a secret robbery.
Alright folks, in case you ain't figured out, you're in a whole mess of trouble now because your conductor's up there looking for Yankees, leaving y'all here with us. We're those 2 notorious train robbing Bolins. I'm Alfie J. Bolin, criminal train robbing mastermind. This here's Ralphie. Everybody say hi, Ralphie.
Hi, Ralphie.
And what we've got here today is a stick-up. For you not getting that, sir, it's a stick. I'm holding it up. Okay, yeah, he's nodding now. The rest of the jokes come at Dad's speed. Keep up best you can.
But that's kind of the unspoken rule. We don't talk about that. Either way, highly recommend Silver Dollar City if you ever get a chance, because it is an amazing place and they have so much to offer. They have so many shows and so many different arts and craft things to check out and see how things really were back in the day, back in the Old West in some ways. If you're going to Branson, you have to go to Silver Dollar City because it is a must go place, and it's worth the money, honestly, even though it is a bit expensive. So I do recommend looking into discounts before you go, because if you can't get a discount, it's worth it too. And lastly, to round off our trip, we ended up stopping somewhere on the way back from Branson up in Springfield, which is about an hour drive outside of Branson. They have the famous Bass Pro Shop with the aquarium called Wonders of Wildlife. First off, okay, let me go back. The Bass Pro Shop there is pretty famous. I believe Dude Perfect even did a video there, which is pretty cool. And so being able to actually go there and see where they filmed is interesting. I had not been to that one before. Either way, it's a very Huge building, very cool, and the aquarium we went to was so amazing. They had giant walls of fish to see, and the kids loved it. And again, the same thing happened. After so many hours, they had enough and they were ready to go. But we did get to see all of the fish and all of the aquarium section, and it was really, really fun, and the kids just loved it. And overall, even though it was a very busy and hectic week for me, trying to travel, trying to keep editing the videos, because I know you guys still want to see our trip, it was a fun time, and it was fun to spend with family, and Ethan really was upset that he ended up missing it after all. So maybe next time we'll try to go back just as a family and get some more footage. And if you guys like this kind of content, please let us know, because we would love to do more content like this. Things that might interest you guys about our hometown and things we just do day to day. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little snippet of my adventures lately and what I've been up to and how busy things are. Don't worry, there are more videos of our travels to the UK to come. I know, we're not done yet, but just stay tuned, because we've got some really amazing things that we did that we haven't even told you about yet. So just give us a little bit more time, but we're getting there. We're almost done with our trip, and we want to thank you all for watching it with us and experiencing what we experienced and how we're able to share it with you all. And so anyway, I'll wrap this one up, and stay tuned and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more content. Bye!